In One Piece, Oda has been cooking for over 25 years, and we all know he doesn't do anything by accident. Every scar has a massive backstory, and every friendship actually means something. But buried under all the fighting, he's actually been writing low-key love stories. So today, we're settling it. 20 ships, ranked by their actual, real-life chance of ever getting married, based only on what we've seen in the anime. We're starting at the bottom, the ships that are basically sinking before they even left the dock. Ace and Yamato, probability 0%. We're starting with the ultimate what-if that has the fandom in a chokehold. The chemistry in the Wano flashbacks was electric, the son of the Pirate King meeting the daughter of Kaido, sharing drinks, and talking about the dawn of the world. It's peak romance writing. But here's the reality check. Ace is currently a donut. Akainu didn't just end the era of Whitebeard, he ended this ship's permit to sail. Unless we're getting a spirit world wedding in the series finale, this stays at 0. It's a beautiful tragedy, but it's still a tragedy. Luffy and Bonnie, probability 10%. Fans saw two people who like to eat a lot and immediately started picking out China patterns for the reception. Look, Bonnie is an incredible character, and her bond with Luffy in the current anime arc is peaking, but it's a big brother/little sister dynamic at best. She's focused on her father, Kuma. Luffy is focused on, well, being the freest man on the sea. There's zero romantic setup here. Fans are glazing this one based on vibes alone, but the narrative weight isn't there. It's pure fan fiction fuel with no engine. Luffy and Yamato, probability 15%. This is the power couple theory. Yamato spent her whole life wanting to be Odin, and Odin sailed with the Pirate King. Fans think it's fate, but Yamato's obsession isn't with Luffy's heart, it's with his legacy. She wants to be his brother-in-arms, the Odin to his Roger. If you're expecting a wedding, you're more likely to see Zoro actually find his way to a grocery store without a GPS. Yamato is a warrior, not a bride-to-be, and Luffy treats her like a cool new crewmate, nothing more. Zoro and Tashigi, probability 20%. A classic enemies to lovers trope, but it's got one massive sword-shaped problem, the Quina factor. Tashigi looks exactly like Zoro's dead childhood rival. That's not a romance, that's a stay 50 feet away from me for my own mental health situation. Zoro gets flustered around her, sure, but it's usually because she's annoying him about his swords or reminding him of his greatest failure. The pirate versus marine conflict is a nice touch, but there's too much emotional baggage here for a happy ending. And those are the ships that never even made it to the water. But here's where it gets interesting. The next ships actually have something going on. But one thing is standing in the way. A uniform, a sword, a stuffed bear collection. Let's get into it. Buggy and Alvida, probability 35%. The low-stakes couple. These two have been together since the East Blue. They've got a business partnership that actually works. Alvida provides the brains and the looks, and Buggy provides the luck. It's a purely functional dynamic, mostly used for comedic relief. They argue like an old married couple, and they've survived the worst the Grand Line has to throw at them. But hey, in the chaos of the New World, maybe they'll decide to make it official just to save on taxes. It's a low-tier ship, but it's a persistent one. Zoro and Perona, probability 40%. The Goth Girlfriend Special. 2 years on Kurigana Island, just Zoro, Perona, and Mihawk. She literally nursed him back to health and dealt with his stubbornness for 730 days straight. The yapping is top-tier married couple energy. The only reason this isn't higher is that Perona seems more attached to her stuffed bears than Zoro's three-sword style. It's a fan favorite because of the opposites attract vibe. But Zoro is basically a monk who only loves steel. Mihawk and Perona, probability 45%. Speaking of the world's strongest swordsmen, Mihawk and Perona somehow made Kurigana Island work. For 2 years, this ghost princess set up camp in a castle belonging to the world's most intimidating loner, and he just let it happen. That alone says more than any love confession ever could. It's the domestic coexistence ship. But Mihawk's professional loner energy is a hard ceiling. He's married to his blade, and honestly, Perona deserves someone who isn't quite so gloomy. Still, if anyone can handle Mihawk's mood swings, it's her. Let me know in the comments right now, what's your #1 One Piece ship? And don't say Luffy and meat, that's cheating. Sanji and Nami, probability 50%. This is the most polarizing ship in the series. Sanji is head over heels. He's been simping since the Barati Hay. But Nami treats Sanji like a very reliable, very expensive appliance. She loves him as a crewmate, and she definitely relies on his protection, but we haven't seen that spark from her side yet. It's a 50-50 toss-up. Either it's the ultimate simp-to-king victory where his devotion finally pays off, or he stays in the friend zone forever while she manages his bank account. Luffy and Uta, probability 60%. Now, if you've watched Film Red, you know why this is here. Childhood friends, shared dreams, and a bond that goes back to the very beginning. Uta is the only person who can match Luffy's energy and actually challenge his worldview. Their connection is pure and nostalgic. The only problem is that her existence in the main anime timeline is a massive question mark. If she's canonically out of the picture, the ship is sunk. But the emotional weight of their New Genesis promise is massive. Robin and Law, probability 65%. The big brain couple. They both carry dark, complicated pasts. They both love history. They both have that "I've seen too much of the world" tired energy. When they talk, it's not about romance. It's about the truth of the world. And honestly, that's way more intimate in One Piece than a kiss. They have a mutual respect that is rare in this series. If Law ever officially becomes more than just an ally, keep an eye on this one. It's the sophisticated choice for the intellectual fan. Let's talk about Luffy for a second. The man is meat-sexual. He has zero interest in romance. But here's the thing. Oda loves a full circle ending. Roger had a wife. Garp had, well, dragon came from somewhere. Being the Pirate King doesn't mean being alone. It means having someone who can handle your chaos and keep you grounded when you're literally floating away in Gear 5. The question isn't if he ends up with someone, it's who can survive his appetite. Chopper and Milky, probability 75%. I'm not joking. This is the only time in 1,000 episodes we've seen Chopper have a manly reaction to a girl. In Zou, he saw Milky, the reindeer mink, and he literally melted. It was a 100% canon romantic reaction. Our little doctor usually has zero interest in anything but cotton candy, but Milky changed the game. It's simple, it's cute, and it's the most likely endgame for Chopper. He's found his reindeer doctor counterpart, Kobe and Hibari, probability 80%. If you're caught up on the anime, you've seen Hibari. She's not subtle. She's devoted to Kobe. And when things go sideways, she's the first one to react. She's basically his biggest fan rolled into a Marine uniform. Kobe is too busy chasing his hero dreams to notice. But this is a classic shonen setup. The fierce, loyal girl and the hardworking hero. It's almost a lock for the epilogue. Luffy and Boa Hancock. Probability 80%. The Pirate Empress. She literally developed love sickness because of him. She was escorted by the world government into Impel Down just to get close enough to help Luffy, and then protected him multiple times during the Summit War. She's the only person who can provide the Empress status to match his King status. Luffy has rejected her marriage proposals multiple times, but he respects her immensely. He remembers her name, which for Luffy is practically a declaration of love. Shanks and Makino, probability 85%. This one is basically the secret family. In anime cameos, we see Makino holding a baby with reddish hair. They've had a connection since episode 1. It's the most understated ship in the series. Wholesome, quiet, and almost certainly already happening off-screen. Zoro and Hiyori, probability 85%. Wano changed everything for Zoro fans. Hiyori trusted him with her life and her father's legacy, the sword Enma. They stayed close during their time together. She healed his wounds, and she's the princess of the country he basically liberated. Hiyori is the first woman in the series to show genuine, soft, romantic interest in Zoro that he didn't immediately walk away from. Luffy and Nami, probability 90%. This is the big one. The hero and the heroine. From the moment Luffy put his hat on Nami's head in Arlong Park, the deal was sealed. He doesn't trust anyone with that hat. Nami is the only one who can truly steer Luffy, literally and figuratively. Their dreams are perfectly aligned. He needs a navigator to be king. She needs a captain to map the world. Their emotional bond in Arlong Park, Whole Cake Island, and Wano is the heart of the series. The only thing blocking this ship is Luffy's own dense skull, but narratively, it's perfect alignment. Sanji and Pudding, probability 95%. Whole Cake Island was a romance anime disguised as a pirate show. Pudding's character arc, going from a villain who mocked Sanji's kindness to a woman who was truly saved by it, is some of the best writing in the series. That final moment where she uses her devil fruit ability to take something precious from him before he leaves, absolute cinema. Sanji deserves a happy ending after all that trauma, and Pudding is the only one who truly sees his soul. When they reunite, and they will, this is a lock for the altar. Sabo and Koala, probability 98%. Partners in the Revolutionary Army and partners in life. They have zero barriers. No pirate versus marine drama. No I'm in love with adventure excuses. They work together, they fight together, and she's the only one who can pull Sabo's ear and get away with it. They are basically already married. They just haven't had the time to sign the paperwork because they're busy toppling the celestial dragons. Their bond is forged in the fire of rebellion, and it's unbreakable. Usopp and Kaya, probability 99%. The OG, the childhood bond. Usopp's entire journey is fueled by his desire to become a brave warrior of the sea so he can return to Kaya with real stories that top his lies. Their bond has never wavered across the entire series. She believed in him before anyone else did. It is the most narratively certain relationship in the entire franchise. Usopp isn't just fighting for his crew, he's fighting for the person waiting for him back home. We've reached the peak. If you haven't liked the video yet, do it now for the king of the snipers. Tell me in the comments, did I miss your favorite crack ship? Are you still holding out for Zoro and Sanji to stop fighting and start dating? Let's hear it. Straw Hat Crew in the sea, probability 100%. Let's be real for a second. The number one ship in One Piece isn't romantic. It's the bond between this crew. The Going Merry and the Thousand Sunny are the only vessels that matter. This bond is stronger than any marriage could ever be. They are a family first, a crew second, and everything else third. While we love the shipping wars, the ultimate altar they're sailing toward is the shores of Laugh Tale, together. So, there you have it. From the tragic no-go of Ace and Yamato to the destined reunion of Usopp and Kaya. One Piece might be about the treasure, but the connections these characters make are what keep us coming back every Sunday. Did I ratio your favorite ship, or was I glazing the top 5 a bit too hard? Let me know in the comments if you think Luffy will actually end up with anyone, or if he's just going to marry a giant piece of meat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos on One Piece lore.